Hello, everybody. So, what I've been seeing on the internet is um, like a certain character, ex-listener, with comfort of a panic attack, or the character is an adoptive parent and you're like a child. So I wanted to do that, but with the Sun and Moon show, and you're the listener, of course, and the character for today, well, tonight actually, it's I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning, is Solar from Sun and Moon Show. So this is my first one. It's not gonna be too good. Granted, I don't know how good my Solar voice is, or my Jack voice, or any other voice that I can do. I don't know, So yeah, if I start sounding kinda, weird, don't question it. It's because I can't do the voice correctly. So, let's get on to it. You've been running for days. You finally got to stop somewhere. It was pouring down rain. So you stopped under you stopped at a building. You didn't know what kind of building it was. You didn't really pay attention to it. Honestly, you didn't really care. Honestly, you just wanted to get out the rain. Till you heard footsteps coming up behind you, and then a pain in your head. You kept going in and out of consciousness. When you collapsed on the ground, you came back into consciousness, only to hear a somewhat deep voice yelling to get away from you. Then you fell back unconscious. And then when you was somewhat somewhat conscious, you felt somebody was carrying you, and then you were out. When you woke back up, you woke up with a splitting headache, almost like a horrible migraine. Thanks for being hit in the head with whatever you were hit with. You groaned at the splitting headache. Then you heard a voice off to your left. You're finally awake. You turned to see a 7 feet tall animatronic. It looked like Sun, but darker. You can remember what Sun looked like, and Moon, because you came here to whatever place until it clicked into your mind. You were in the Mega Pizzaplex. Just by looking at the animatronic, you can tell. And that's when it snapped into your mind that you were inside the Mega Pizzaplex. You came there when you were 10 for your 10th birthday. Of course, you didn't meet who this who this person was. But you were terrified out your mind. You started getting closer, and you started backing up to the wall before hitting the wall. You couldn't back up any farther. You yelled out to him to stay back, and he stopped abruptly. It's okay, I'm not gonna hurt you. He started walking slow to you, trying not to seem as a threat to you. You started to ease a bit, but was still tense. He asked for your name. You told him his name, but you didn't tell him anything else, just your name. He said that his name was Solar. And he worked inside parts and services. Of course, you didn't recognize him. He always worked in parts and services, so you never got the chance to see him. Now that you knew his name, and that he wasn't going to hurt you, you relaxed a lot. Your head still hurt from whatever you were hit with. Of course, you were hit on the back of the head. You asked Solo what happened. He just replied that he heard crashing from outside. And when I went out, I seen that somebody was over your unconscious body with a rock, and so I scared them away and rushed you inside. You were soaked as well, so I got you some dry clothes over here. He passed you to the dry clothes, and then got out of the room to let you get into the dry clothes so you didn't catch cold. You walked out of the room. You can see that you were up on the top balcony, I guess. It was hard for you to remember since that memory was foggy. You can never really remember much of your childhood. Some important parts, but that was mostly it. It seemed to be that he wasn't in the room that you just gone into. You decided to explore. Might as well get some good memories while you were here. You eventually found him. He was in the daycare with some other new animatronics. One that was short and kind of looked like Moon, but lighter. And one tall one. She looked like the Earth, and her hair looked like a cloud. And then you seen Sun and Moon. You recognize them, casually. They're iconic, with Moon with his iconic hat, and blue and dotted with yellow stars, and Sun for his iconic rays. And then you caught sight of Solar. He looked like he was talking to him, so you just explored the daycare. You remember going to the daycare. Your mom had dropped you off there. She needed to run an errand since she worked at the Mega Pizza-plex. But she doesn't work there anymore, so we just explored, trying to find some things that were familiar to you. You found one of the play jungle gym things. You always liked that one. It was the most funnest out of all of them. Yes, even though you were 13, it still didn't matter what age you were. You still liked it. So, you went inside. Still as you remembered. You ended up finding one of those corners that you always sat in. Peacefully. You always carried a book with you, but you didn't have your book with you. So, you just sat there in quiet. Heard them talking in the distance, but that was nothing of your concern. Until you heard Solar. He was calling out your name. Well, he wasn't calling out your name. He was calling some other name. Couldn't quite pinpoint what it was. but it sounded like he was yelling out a name that started with a J. Jack, where are you? Jack. And that's when you started hearing something above you. You looked up. You seen what looked to be like moon, but scarecrow-looking thing looking down at you. It was kind of terrifying. You slowly slid into the tunnel that led to the other part of the jungle gym. And you sat there until you heard something drop on left of you. You turned to see that it was that same animatronic that you seen that was staring at you from above. You quietly called out, "Who are you?" There was no reply. Until Solar, I guess, seeing the animatronic, called out their name. "Jack, get down here. Too big to be in there. Get down here." So this was the animatronic's name, Jack. You heard Jack's odd-sounding voice. Something was probably messed up with his voice box. "Yes, Father, I'm coming." He somehow scrambled out of the jungle gym. You peeked your head out of the tube. You couldn't make out what Solar was saying, but it looked like he was in the most scolding manner. You couldn't tell. It wasn't really any of your business anyway. You eventually got out of the jungle gym and was walking towards Solar when he finally noticed you. "Ah, there you are. I was trying to find you. I was hoping that I could call Jack to see if he can help me find you. And it seems like he found you before I did." You told him that Jack was staring at you from above, so you scooted into the tunnel before he dropped on your left. And he scared you a lot. You decided to go to El Chip since you had gotten hungry. And then you went to the Fazcade. You decided you wanted to play some of the games on there. So you started playing some of the games inside the Fazcade. Solar came up to you. You asked him what he wanted. And he just asked you, "Why were you outside of the Mega Pizzaplex?" That was a question that you did not want to answer, but you had to anyway. It wasn't going to stop bugging you, probably. Anytime you didn't reply to somebody's question, they never stopped bugging you about it. It always happened to you. You often got pretty annoyed by it. Just ended up ignoring them. You told him that you'd ran away from your house. Your mother and your father had divorced. You knew that your father wouldn't notice that you left. He never notices that you're even home. You were off to find your mom. She was more kinder and was less strict than your father. And that's where you've gone to the Mega Pizzaplex and gotten attacked. And that was the whole story. You can see in Solar's eyes that, one, he was impressed, and two, it looked like he was satisfied with his answer, but you can also tell that he wasn't also satisfied with the answer for some odd reason. I guess he knew that you weren't telling the full truth. You weren't telling all of it, mostly. He said that you were tired, so he ended up taking you back to the daycare. He took you through the storage. He took you to the theater and through that painting on the wall. Or poster thing. Secret doorway to get to the balcony. And that's when you realized the room that you'd woken up in was Moon's room. You laid back down on the bed. Honestly, you didn't care where you slept. You honestly hadn't slept for a couple of days. You'd gotten under the covers and you were out. And that's it for my first part. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, this is my first one. Second one's already in its making. Yeah, I might do the second one tonight probably. But I would recommend. Well, no, I wouldn't recommend. I would like to see what you guys recommend for me. Just nothing weird. Like, I would much more prefer, like, oh, he comforts you from a panic attack, or you have a nightmare, or something like that. But part 2, you're going to meet the rest of them, since you only met Jack and Solar. You already knew Sun and Moon, so. But I'll see you all inside the next video. This is my payment for not posting for a long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like it, subscribe, comment what else you want me to do with these kind of stories. And bye, my little galaxies.